So the next part of this, after tapping the holes and laying out our part, drilling all the holes, is going to be cutting out our project. If I'm not careful, I could cut my fingers. If I'm not careful, I could make my part undersized or leave marks in it that don't come out. I think careful is the big step when it comes to bandsaw. I want to leave a little bit of material for filing, but only a tiny bit, because the more I leave on here, the longer it's going to take me to file it, and we can't use power tools. We can't. We've got to learn how to use a file properly. You might notice that my part is starting to get a stained appearance. It's starting to lose its bluing. If you've had to leave this in your toolbox, you should use a prick punch and leave marks all the way around our part, so when I come back the next day and this bluing's gone, I still know where to cut. Those prick punch marks have to be far enough away from the line that they don't leave an indentation that won't come out. Get your teacher to show you how to do that, okay? We want to make sure we're about 30 thousandths of an inch away from our line, so then when we cut with the bandsaw, it takes that away and it's gone, but you've got something to cut to for later. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting. Now, you'll notice that there's some radiuses. And a bandsaw can do radiuses, but the thickness of our bandsaw means it can't get all the way around a rad nice and even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my bandsaw on a flat and push a little bit to leave a mark. Then I'm going to come in until I'm just at the radius or not quite touching it. I'm going to leave a whole bunch of little tooth marks. I'll show you in a minute, okay? I have a push tool that keeps my hands away from the blade. I make sure that the push tool can do its job by putting it right here, loosening this, and moving my guard down so that I can still move my push tool. It keeps me safe as much as possible, and then I lock this in place again. When I turn on my bandsaw, surface feet per minute is important. We need you to read up on the bandsaw and understand how to set it. There is a foot pedal on this machine, down at the bottom. This foot pedal determines the RPMs, and there's a guard, or there's a sign here that tells us for different metals what the surface feet per minute should be. So I'm going to turn this on. Use this. So you can see, as I go around a corner, each of these little pieces comes off and allows clearance for me to be able to get tighter around the corner. If you look at my saw cut, you can actually see the line that's a scribe line right beside it that isn't very much filing. It's only going to take a few minutes for me to file this out when I'm done. The more you leave on here, the more filing you have to do later. You see this little hole right here? If I push too hard, I'm going to leave a cut mark in that hole. So when I get near the hole, I want to stop pushing and let the saw just vibrate along until it starts to penetrate through the hole. Then I'm going to pull back and I'm going to do my other line here and do the same thing so that I don't accidentally cut into my hole. Okay, that's where I'm going now. Does that look familiar?